My neighbor harassed my wife, trashed my yard, and acted like the entire street was his kingdom. So I waited for winter, and I froze his car to the driveway so thoroughly the cops couldn't even help him. If you've ever had a neighbor from hell who thought they could get away with anything, hit that like button, subscribe, and get ready for one of the most frozen moments of revenge justice you've ever heard. A few years back, I was renting a nice little townhouse while working a studio contract. 2 bedrooms, a clean garage, and quiet enough to feel like home. I moved in with my girlfriend, now my wife, and for a while, things were fine. And then there was Chad. Chad was our next-door neighbor. Short, loud, constantly posturing. The kind of guy who overcompensates for his height with a jacked-up pickup truck that couldn't even fit in his garage. His second pride and joy? A ridiculous, modified Honda Civic that sounded like it was trying too hard to be in Fast and Furious 12. Small man's revenge. He and 4 equally immature buddies would spend entire afternoons sitting at the end of his driveway, crushing beers and leaving the empties wherever they landed. It was like living next to a frat house, except these guys were pushing 35. When we first moved in, Chad pretended to be helpful. He moved his truck to let the movers in and casually mentioned that the previous tenants let him use their garage during winter. But something about the way he said it felt off. I told him I didn't have the garage code or key yet, and he said, "Yeah, mine doesn't work either." Later, when I brought it up with my landlord, he got serious. He warned me, "Don't give Chad the code. Don't share the garage. Don't trust him." Apparently, the last tenants had been robbed just after Christmas, and while there was no proof, everyone suspected Chad and his beer brigade. So the locks had been changed. Naturally, Chad didn't like being told no. When I finally told him I wouldn't be sharing the garage, his face turned red and he lunged at me. His friends had to hold him back. After that, the passive-aggressive war began. Beer cans started showing up on our lawn. He and his buddy's cat called my wife when I wasn't home. He'd park his truck to block our driveway and blare music at 3 a.m. just because he could. And when winter hit, the real meltdown began, pun intended. Since he couldn't park on the street anymore, and the visitor lot banned him, he was forced to leave his precious Civic exposed in the driveway. That's when his paranoia kicked in. Some kids vandalized his car cover, scratched the paint, and instead of blaming reality, he blamed me for not letting him use my garage. But when I woke up to find our holiday decorations torn apart and tossed across the lawn, that was it. I didn't scream. I didn't call the cops. I got the garden hose. Every 30 minutes, from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., I went outside and sprayed his car. I layered it with water until it looked like an ice sculpture from a mechanic's nightmare. By morning, the Civic was frozen solid, literally glued to the driveway in a block of thick winter revenge. Chad lost his mind to screaming, cursing, woke up the entire neighborhood. The cops came. The fire department came. They looked, shrugged, left. His buddies tried to free the car using power tools. One genius even sliced into the fender and a tire using a sawzall. When it finally broke 3 days later, Chad cracked the windshield himself trying to chip off the ice. Spring came. My contract ended. We moved. Years later, my old landlord gave me an update. Turns out Chad and his crew were arrested for robbing a convenience store. That garage I never shared with him probably saved me from being next. Sometimes revenge doesn't need fireworks. Just a garden hose, a cold night, and a neighbor who finally learns they can't push everyone around. If you loved this frozen little justice story, smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe.